Welcome. I'm the Preneed guy, and I help families make smart, stress-free decisions about funeral pre-planning.
Hi guys, I'm Joshua, the Preneed guy, and today we're going to visit some myths out there about cremation. Because of these myths, families often spend more than they really need to. So today we're going to separate cremation fact from fiction. First of all, ashes are not a health risk. Cremation takes place at nearly 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit, and what's left are about 5 to 7 pounds of clean, inert bone fragments made mostly of calcium. They are harmless to people, they are harmless to pets and the environment, and you are not required to bury ashes in a cemetery. In every state that I'm aware of, you can keep them at home, scatter them on your own property, or scatter them on someone else's land with their permission, of course. Now, cemetery burial is completely optional. Also, I want to visit a myth that the urn you receive after cremation is somehow temporary or not suitable. It's an industry standard to say it's temporary. However, some crematories even stamp the container with warnings to pressure families into buying expensive urns. Don't fall for that. The basic container you receive is perfectly acceptable for long-term storage, and yes, it can be placed in a niche in a columbarium or used for an interment at a cemetery of your choosing. You are not required to buy a pricey permanent urn for any reason. As a matter of fact, any container you choose, even a favorite cookie jar, legally counts as an urn. Now, it's true, there are a handful of legal restrictions on scattering in some states, but from what I've seen, they are far and few between, and scattering rules are mostly unenforced. Now, some funeral homes cite obscure regulations to pressure families into buying a more expensive urn. But even the EPA says they don't enforce scattering rules on land. States do not prosecute families, and park officials often turn a blind eye. The only official rule that I've seen is burial at sea beyond 3 miles, and even that rarely applies to families scattering a loved one at sea. So just for the record, cremation gives families far more freedom than they think. Don't let fear or misinformation push you into buying things you don't need. And remember, cremation leaves your family with plenty of options, as in, you can still have a beautiful celebration of life or memorial service without paying for burial plots, vaults, or any other cemetery fees. Just remember that honoring someone's story doesn't require buying cemetery property.
Let's make pre-planning a little less scary and a lot more smart. I make it simple, clear, and pressure-free. Subscribe for more calm and clear answers about pre-planning.